Hey, on this week's Community Shout, we're going to talk to Pinetop-Lakeside PD and the Nexus Coalition for Drug Prevention. Stay tuned and let's do this. Hey, it's Birdman time for another Arizona White Mountain podcast, Community Shout. Hanging out here in the studio, and today I've got Pinetop-Lakeside's finest. I've got Chief Barnes and Commander Willis. How are you gentlemen today?
Doing well today. How about you?
Well.
Good. So I see, Chief, you're at every single town council meeting.
Yes, sir.
So I find that, and I don't know if is that part of your contract? Is it just what you do, or?
Most of the time when I'm not speaking on a particular topic, usually it's for security purposes. Yeah. We always have somebody there, and I'm required to be there for
meeting
for
stuff.
Staff and
yeah.
everything. So it's kind of a dual role. Just I'm there for security as well. So
awesome.
Always keep an eye out for anything that happens.
In case the clock falls off the wall.
Absolutely. Made us all jump the other night. So.
That was a very interesting sound. It was like literally a clock fell off the wall.
A lot louder than the clock.
Time is running, so yeah. So we have you here today. We're going to be talking about, we're going to do a special edition talking about your facility there. And honestly, I have not been in it, and just seeing from the video is like, wow. So we'll get to that. Make sure you watch that. We'll have that up here in the next week or so. But I wanted to talk about some of the things that we want to make sure that people are being aware of. We've been congested all through COVID, kind of, and now we've got. It's kind of obvious some people are coming out, and there's some aggression I can see building in traffic and stuff like that. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about the things that people should be aware of.
I'd say the public, be aware of we do have speed limits through town, and this is kind of a main drag town, so everybody jumps on our main drag, and they're sometimes can be in a hurry getting places, and I've kind of noticed that the speeds are climbing with folks, and we're actually writing more and more criminal speed citations. Which means if you're 20 miles per hour over the posted speed limit, it becomes a criminal speed.
And the posted
issue.
Speed limit in Pinetop-Lakeside is not 45. It's
35 through most of that area.
Yeah. So it's 35. So be aware of that.
Yeah, be aware of that. I mean, for your own motorist safety, for pedestrians that are out there walking, for other motorists that are out there. Closing speeds can come up quickly if you're well over the speed limit, and it takes a lot of time to decel, and things can happen quickly, and people can get hurt and injured. So just think safety out there on the roadways.
Yeah, you bet. And then there's some other things that have changed here locally, or actually statewide, as far as what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. I still people driving around like this, and I still see people doing this.
Yes.
Neither one of those are allowed, right?
It's not allowed. There's a hands-free law now in the state of Arizona, and you shouldn't be holding or manipulating a hands-free device unless you're on a hands-free mode of some kind. So just another safety issue that was put in place for a reason, for distracted driving issues. So please, if you're out driving, use a hands-free device, and you'll keep yourself safe and others safe out there on the roadway. Yeah,
I think the easiest way to remember it is you're not allowed to have it in your hand. You're not allowed to touch it.
Yeah.
And like 2 years ago, I literally went and got a radio that I plug in, my phone sticks on the dash, and it stays there, and I can do everything hands-free. And it took me a while to get used to the whole, because if you got used to doing it, and then, you think this is safe, holding it instead of, but once again, that's still not legal.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Another thing we wanted to touch upon was marijuana. They've legalized the recreational use of marijuana.
Yes.
But that, much like alcohol, doesn't mean you can drive around with it, right?
That's correct. It's still illegal to operate a motor vehicle in Arizona, while under the influence of marijuana. So keep that in mind. It's not part of the law. So
yeah, and it's any perceived impairment, because there's like levels of influence, but any perceived impairment is actually finable, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that means that if they think you're, and does that require a backup of a blood test or anything like that, or is that just the officer's decision and backed up through?
Most of the officers are trained to detect impairment, so they'll go through a series of questions and tests to detect that. I think in the future too, we're going to start looking at additional phlebotomists in our area.
Oh wow!
To if they come across this, they can, you know, obtain a warrant through for blood, and they can draw the blood themselves if they're a trained and certified phlebotomist as well. So
Yeah. Now, all of those are the enforcement kind of stuff and everything. You guys are out there a lot, and I see you interacting with public very positively. Let me put it that way. I see a lot of engagement. I see you guys. You know, I've seen sometimes you got people that are maybe down on their luck, or they had a little bit too much to drink. They're walking around in public, things like that. But I've seen you guys do that. What's your mentality, and how are you actually fostering that? Because I see it through your officers.
well, usually we're always there to help folks. We come across a lot of impaired people out there, and we usually try and think of their safety first of all, and aid them and get them to a place where they're safe and off a roadway, close to a roadway where they could get hurt. And sometimes we get a lot of complaints of maybe an intoxicated person here or there, and just try and talk to the people that are calling in, the people that may be intoxicated, and work with them to help them out of the situation.
Right.
So
officers make contact with the public on a regular basis anyway, just to learn who's in the area, whether they live here or not. So kind of an officer-friendly thing. So they can meet the public, greet the public, tell them that we're here to help. A lot of people have questions because they're not from here, especially on the weekends. People from Tucson, Phoenix come up here. They have a lot of questions. What can they do in the area? Where can they eat? Where can they go? The officers try to help out the best they can.
So it's good community policing. We always try and interact with them, no matter what it is. It could be, an intoxication issue. It could be, I need directions here. I need, help with a wide variety of things. And that's in addition to what we do is, taking crime calls and things like that. We're there to help and assist anybody in the public that is asking for it.
Awesome. Anything else you want to get out to people right now?
Maybe I'll throw one more thing out there.
Sure.
Just a couple things on maybe with fire season kind of creeping up on us. We're having some weather right now that's not favorable for fire conditions, and just want to remind everybody to be aware of the Ready, Set, Go program that's out there. For Ready, a couple things I'll just throw out there is be aware of the hazards around you in your community.
Right.
Create a defensible space around your homes to keep those homes safe, so that if embers or fire gets in that area, it's not creating more flammable material to harm your home.
Right.
So build an emergency to-go kit. Be prepared to grab that kit and go, and write down a family communication plan. Helps you and your family communicate during that and stay safe.
Very good.
And be alert. That's the second part of it. If there's a significant danger in your area, kind of get to know what that is and be aware of what's evolving with that. Consider relocating on your own prior to any major event to keep your family safe. And again, stay aware of the latest news and what's going on with events going on in your community.
You bet.
Be aware of all the exits and entrances to your community.
Yeah.
There's more than one way to get to your house.
So
That's a good one. Kind of learn and understand how to get through your area. You get to one point and it may be blocked. You have an alternate route to go to.
Yeah.
And listen to those public broadcasts that are put out. 311 in the area has a lot of information on events that are going on as well. Third part of that is go. It means there's imminent danger in the area, and take your emergency kit and grab your loved ones and go.
And you guys will give
making a move.
the advance on go is going to be pretty decent. I mean, it's not going to be like, oh, it's right at your back door. You're going to get a lot of.
Ideally, they're going to have plenty of advance. So, there have been, fires out there that have really snuck up on communities. plan for that as well.
Yeah, a few years ago we were in pretty good. We were sat in set mode for quite a few weeks during the Cedar Fire, and it was literally at any moment could go. But luckily for us, the fire management teams and that did a good job.
Yeah, and while you're evacuating, follow instructions of emergency personnel and stay on the designated evacuation routes.
Cool. And I want to drive that home. So, Birdman Media, if we ever show anything, you're not going to get a direct message from me telling you what to do. It's going to be a communicated message from official sources. So it'll either come from the county, it'll come from the police department, it'll come from the fire department. So watch the rumor mill. You're not going to see a group on Facebook tell you that there's an evacuation. You're going to see an actual official agency tell you that.
That's a good point, because in past years we've had some groups that kind of formed on Facebook and other social media sites, and they kind of drove their own agenda that wasn't correct and accurate. So, listen to the agencies, emergency management, the local police departments, the sheriff's office, Forest Service, all those agencies are the ones that are managing those events. So.
Yeah, and I'll make sure we're on top of giving you those official ones, but 311 is your direct source to that. And if there's nothing being updated on there, that's because there's nothing to report. So people want information like nonstop, and unfortunately, that's when it comes, it comes. So
yes,
awesome. Thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate that.
It.
Okay, hanging out in the studio, and now I've got with me again this week, Amber Oldham. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing today, Rob?
And you're with the Nexus Coalition for Drug Prevention.
I am.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
So you're working way into the community, and you want to remind people about what's going on. So let us know.
So starting in May, the first week of May, Tuesday evening, May 4th, and Wednesday morning, May 5th, we're starting our parenting classes that are for free for the community. And it's the Parenting the Love and Logic way, which is a really fantastic way to more parenting tools to use with your kids. And this summer coming on, we all know we're going to be with our kids a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to want some tools, some new ideas, some new things. So this will be like through June 8th and through June 9th.
Okay.
And so you'll have some time to work some of these new tools into your parenting toolbox.
Awesome. And then, so let's say people can come there in person, or they can do it online,
yes,
right?
That's why I'm here today,
Exactly.
is to tell you that we're going to meet as a group, but if you can't make it as a group, we're going to also have a Zoom in option.
Okay.
And we're going to have a workbook that you can take, so you've got something to take with you to read and refresh your memory. It's really great, really fun.
Cool.
And a great way to
So I always say that there's no owner's manual, but she's going to give us one. So there we go.
Yes, yes. And it's good for kids, like little kids, all the way up to teenagers. So in every class, you're going to learn something that can help you. And it's not just for parents. If you're a grandparent, if you're a neighbor, if you're a foster parent, if you interact with kids in any way, Sunday school teachers, or you have daycare, come on over. We'd love to talk to you and teach.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, also, you're part of the drug take-back thing. So we had Pinetop-Lakeside PD, obviously, right in front of you.
Yes.
Tell me about that. What's going on?
So that is on April 24th from 11 to 1. It's going to be at Summit, at any of the police departments here up on the White Mountains, and also the Hebrew Overguard Fire Department. Bring any of your prescription medications that you want to get rid of, anything that's expired, anything that you don't need anymore, anything that you don't want sitting around in your medicine cabinet so that somebody else comes in and takes it.
Awesome. Yeah, and if you have any other questions, we'll give you the link up online here to get to Nexus Coalition for Drug Prevention. Makes it real easy.
And for the parenting classes. So that you got to register. We're going to have our classes capped at 20.
Okay.
We're not going to we can't record them because Love and Logic stuff is copyright protected. So
there you go.
You can contact me at aoncdp@gmail.com. Or you can go on to Nexus.rocks on the internet.
Okay.
And or Nexus or NCDP Drug Free Community Coalition on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Amber. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Hey, that's going to be it for this week's Community Shout. Remember, we want you tagging out there AZWM and Arizona's Backyard. Let everybody know what's going on in the great Arizona White Mountains. I'm Birdman, reminding you, if I don't see you around town, I'll catch you right here on the web. It's a wrap.